Hello and good morning. Welcome to the daily DH update. We were gone for a while, but we're back. And we're going to get into some very interesting stuff as always with the top trending news articles for the marketing industry. Got my boy Marvin Gaye in the background. Anybody trying to get down, this is your time. So look what we got here. A couple of headlines. Now is not the time for sales matrix. Maltsters on bringing the light side of marketing up. In short, people are not as worried about metrics, numbers coming across as they are about getting their brand, their logo, the soul of their company into the person that's looking at the advertisement. That's what's working right now, showing you give a fuck. Now, Marketing Week Masters Awards deadline extended. Morrison COVID-19 has spurred a renaissance of supermarket foods. Dixon car phone lockdown is sparking innovation in the car industry. What we're going to talk about today, though, very, very interesting talk about, is programmatic advertising. What is programmatic advertising? Well, this is an automation, makes transactions efficient and more effective, streamlining the process and consolidating your digital advertising efforts into one technology platform, usually crossing through a variety of different demographics, male, female, geography, interests, behaviors, time of day, weather, devices, and they use all this data to automatically buy and sell your ads so that you're pretty much seen at the correct time and you save money on your ad spending. Some of the big news that was coming across today that I really don't like to hear was that there's a big hole in the value chain. Brands are losing 50% of their money they have invested in programmatic ads. This is a lot. And out of 50%, 15% can't even be tracked. No idea where it goes. Let's break that down, okay? So we got about, say an advertiser puts 100% into his ads. Let's say $100,000. $7,000 is going to go to the agency fee. $8,000 is going to go towards the DSP fee, development. Almost 10% is going to go to the technology fee. 15% is unknown. It can't map it. They don't know where the money's going. For all you know, Charles Barkley is pocketing that shit and laughing as we speak. 8% SSP fee, 1% technology fee, supply side, and then 51% of your advertising dollars on programmatic ads are going to go to the publisher's revenue. Now, this isn't totally off. That left 15% is unattributable spend, or the unknown delta, on the above chart equal to around a third of supply chain costs. However, given the study only takes into account disclosed programmatic models, this is a best case scenario, and the figure is likely much higher in the long tail publishers and ad tech side. So what they're trying to say is that the publishers are probably taking more money, and that 15% might be even larger than you think. Now, a previous experiment by The Guardian found that in a worst-case scenario, it received just 30% of the money brands invested, with the rest lost in supply chain. Tracking issues with the data. It has taken advertising and publishers 9 months to retrieve the data from tech vendors, highlighting the lack of organization in these type of automated ad systems. The complexity and understanding the supply chain. Maybe the computer can understand the cost and get it down so it's a little bit cheaper for you, but they're not understanding everything. It's not there yet. Of 1,000 plus distinct supply chains that were identified, PwC was able to end-to-end match only 290 chains. That's 31 million impressions from across the 15 advertisers all the way to the 12 publishers. There are 15 companies that took part in this study. PwC says there is a lack of understanding and consistency among the ads. tech suppliers as to how they can legally share the data and what permissions are needed. So there's just a lot of holes in this. Some of the brands in the study were appearing on tens of thousands of different websites. I mean, if you're appearing on 5,000 websites, you're probably wanting to look at the automatic ad system you're using. Why is it going so diversified like that? Is every website that you're on actually have anything to do with your brand? I'm not beating up automated ad systems. The point that I'm trying to get across today is that the automated ad world is at a very, very weird spot where they're not able to fully understand the ad spend and where it's going, and they can't track it effectively. You having a proper tracking system in place is one of the most important things you can have these days. When you're tracking your ads and you can actually see the data come through, that's how you're going to make your system better. So if you cannot account for 51 or 65% of your ad spend and you don't know where it's going or what kind of statistics you're getting back off of that, you're fucking up. You need to get Google Analytics, a bunch of system. I mean, honestly, there's a bunch of different programs you could use to track. I use Ahrefs, I use SEMrush, I use Google Analytics, Google Ads. These are all very good. You got to plug them into your website correctly so they work functionally. And you as the owner getting this data back in front of you instead of a marketer or a publisher getting the data and then transferring it to you. Well, what's going to happen is they're not accounting for 51% of their spend, their revenue. They're not accounting for the 15% that is blatantly lost in the market. They're not accounting for 10% on tech, 8% on tech. They're only showing you maybe 15 to 25% of your actual dollars, and then they're taking that, expanding it, saying that that's the whole 100%, and telling you that they got the gift that keeps on giving. That's not true. You gotta start managing your ads. You gotta start looking at the data yourself. Look, maybe 10 years ago, you could be a business owner, a medium to small size business owner, and hand out your advertising to somebody else. As of right now, that has changed. You can no longer say, hey buddy, I need you to manage my ads. You have to actually understand what these people are doing slightly so that you understand the numbers that are coming back. If you don't understand anything, then you're pretty much hiring a team that is not going to understand your needs. Because if you can't understand the data that's coming back from that team, how are you going to tell them what you need? Anyways, this has been another short episode of the Daily DH Update. Make sure to like my stuff, subscribe, make sure to stay connected to the world, and everybody keep safe, and make sure that you look out for your fellow man, because right now wearing a mask is probably one of the most important things we can do.